Okay. Now, well, what we'll do today, actually, Vanessa, I want to do a review on algebra because I found that that last worksheet I sent, it seemed that some of the students had difficulty uh, understanding it, answering the questions. So today we'll do a review on algebra. Okay, let me share my screen here. Let me do a share and bring up my review. Okay. Now let me bring that up. Okay. Vanessa, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, Miss Barbara.
Okay, now if we go to something you don't understand, be sure to stop me and we'll go in some detail, all right? So we're doing just an algebra review, and I said that we will do that because I found that there were some things missing with the students who tried to do that last worksheet. So it said to me that we had missed something in our initial look at algebra. Now, basically, algebra deals with symbols. And remember, they can be from A to Z. We call those variables. And we use all of the arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, some people say, oh, why should I take algebra? Actually, you use algebra in your everyday life.
That's
Oh,
true.
who's dialing on the phone or something? I hear noise. Okay. We use it in our everyday life. We just don't think of it as algebra. And another thing, by becoming somewhat proficient in algebra, it helps you with your critical thinking.
Yes, that's true.
Um, yes. Now, Vanessa, give me an example where you use algebra in your day-to-day
Your money.
activities. What?
Your money.
Yes, with
Going to the
money.
store, the supermarket, or the deli.
That's right. Going to the store and having a certain amount of money and knowing what you can spend, or if you look at certain things you buy by the pound, you know that if it costs so much a pound, how much would a certain number of pounds cost? All that's algebra. I mean, the only thing with the algebra, we use variables instead of numbers. But if 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, then 2y plus 2y is 4y. The only thing is you add what we call those, Vanessa. What do we call what we add?
We are at the what? The base. Is that?
No, here they are right here. We call them
Oh yeah, the
coefficients.
coefficient.
Yes. So I'm putting here an expression just to define what we see when we look at algebra. We see a coefficient, which is a number in front of a variable. We see what? Constants, which are the numbers, and the operators or the arithmetic operations, addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. And if it's addition, you'll see a plus sign.
Yeah.
If it's subtraction, you'll see what?
A multiplication.
No. What's
Oh,
sign for subtraction?
oh, a minus sign.
Minus sign, right. And if you see division, you can see either a slash or a dash, or when you see that dash with a dot over a dot, that's also for division.
Yes.
Now, the one that has the most is multiplication. Now, let's just do here multiplication. The one that has the most symbols.
Miss
Now,
Barbara, must please send this this sheet.
oh yes, I will be sending everything you're seeing here, Vanessa. I will be sending to you after the session. So I'm recording it, and then the work that you're seeing on the screen, all of this will be emailed to you after our session. Okay. Now, multiplication, we have what? We can have an asterisk.
Mhm.
We
You
can
can have it
have
side by side.
side by side. Okay. So asterisk, side by side, or we could have just the X, right? For times. And what else could we have?
Would in a parentheses.
Yes,
And
you could have parentheses, right? And you could have what? It's one more. What's the other one? You could have the dot.
yeah, the period.
Yeah, the dot. Okay. But it's usually bigger, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the way you can have with the multiplication. Now, when we're dealing with algebra, we are dealing with all of the mathematical operations, except we're normally solving for a variable, okay? Or we're doing a setup which has a variable. So addition, add x plus y. And if these were numbers, say if this was a 1 for x and a 2 for y, we would say what? 1 plus 2 equals 3, right?
Yeah.
So the only difference is sometimes you have substitution problems. You have the variables and you given certain values for the variables, and then you substitute the values for the variables and then do the operation. Subtraction, x minus y. That's the minus sign. And you're getting what we call a difference. Whereas here, when we add, what do we call what we get? The result of addition. Vanessa, you remember?
Add what do you call it?
A sum.
Okay.
Okay, now what about the subtraction? What do we call it?
The difference.
Difference. Very good. Excellent. Difference. Okay, so we call this difference. And what do we call for the multiplication?
Product.
Product. Very good. X times y gives you a product. So if you had 2 times 2, you'd get 4, and 4 would be a product. Okay. And division, what do we call division? It's called the quotient.
The quotient, right?
Yes, yes, it's called the quotient. All right. Now, so if you were dividing, say, for instance, we're dividing 14 divided by 2. What's the quotient? 7. Right? Right. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So we have here the, well, that slash here could also be a dash, and that would be division. Now there's a name. You can hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Okay. We're doing an algebra review. Okay. We're doing an algebra review because I found that several of you had problems with that last worksheet, and so I'm going back to the basics. Which worksheet? That's worksheet 13. Well, some didn't turn it in, some did part of it, but it seems that you had difficulties with it. So I said, well, let's review our algebra. Yep. So we're starting back over with a review. And we'll do some problems, and then we will probably eventually get back to 13, but we'll do some things before we get there. Okay. Now, we said these are variables, but just to bring you up, Maureen. Okay, this actually, I'll be sending to you at the end as an email, but I want you to remember that algebra has variables and operations. And the variables can be A to Z. The operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So here's an algebraic equation where 3, the number in front of the variable, is the coefficient, because this is, if you were adding or multiplying or subtracting, whatever, this is where you would do the operation. All right. So 3x, which is really 3 times x, plus 4 is 28. And then if you had to solve this, this is a 2-step operation. We'll get to that later. So your constants here are 4 and 28, and your operator for either addition, subtraction, or multiplication, and here is addition is a plus sign, okay? So this just to bring you up, because we just got started, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so let's go here. And I said, this is called, I think there's a name for the, when you have it's called a obolus. When you have this symbol right here, you don't have to remember that, but just for your information, OBELUS. That's the division symbol. Well, we try to use either the slash or line over line, because sometimes this doesn't print as well and people take it for a minus sign. I know one of my students took this as a minus sign in one of our PEMDAS problems and got a very different result from what you would normally get. Okay, now, any questions on algebra as using variables and using the operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division? Any questions? Is that clear now? What algebra deals with? It deals with variables. And even though you see X and Y a lot, variables do not have to be X or Y. They could be anything from A to Z. So when you have a problem, you can let whatever you're given in the problem be equal to a variable. It could be any of those variables from A to Z, okay? Now, let's go through order of operations. And I found that some of you had problems with that. On that last worksheet, I had an order of operation, and I think out of 3 students, I checked their work and they all missed it. So we've got to go through order of operations and do it just like the rule says. Now, the PEMDAS rule, P for parentheses,
E for exponents.
A for exponents, M or read
Multiplication.
multiplication, D division,
Division.
A addition, S subtraction. That's the order that you do a problem when you have those mixed operations, all right? And when we say parentheses, it could be brackets or parentheses. And then sometimes it's a little complicated, maybe parentheses within brackets. Okay, and you know what exponents, those are roots. Like you raise something to a power, that power is an exponent, okay? Now, knowing that, let's look at an example here. Now notice we have in parentheses 4 plus 5. And this X here is a multiplication symbol. And here in parentheses, we have a subtraction, 8 minus 2. Remember, we said the operations. So you have an addition, you have a multiplication, you have a subtraction. Now, Maureen, what would you do first here?
The parentheses.
So what would you get?
Okay, hold on. I got my phone. Oh, you get 4 plus 5.
And what's that equal to?
9.
Okay, that's equal to 9. So what we have here is 9 times, and then we have another parenthesis of subtraction. What would that be?
2 from at least 6.
That's right. So that would be 6. So we've taken care of our parentheses for our PEMDAS because we did that first. Then we have a multiplication. So 9 times 6 equal what, Vanessa?
54.
54. Very good. See, Vanessa knows her tables. That makes a big difference when you're doing problems, especially on tests where time is valuable, right? So when you know something without having to try to add it up, it makes a difference. So the answer is 54.
Mhm.
You added, you subtracted, and then you multiplied. But you added because it was in parentheses. Now it makes a difference now if it's not in parentheses, right?
Mhm.
If it's not in parentheses, then this would be a very different problem. Okay. So I want you to take this problem. Okay. Let me just write it over here. Now let's take the parentheses out. 4 plus 5 times 8 minus 2. Now, what would be the answer? I give you a couple of minutes to figure it out. Remember now, it's very different now. You have no parentheses. So the first operation you do here is what?
Multiplication.
That's right. So now tell me your answer.
Okay, 44 is 44 minus 2, 42.
42. What did you get, Maureen?
Oh, I didn't do nothing yet.
Why?
Uh,
Well, Maureen, remember PEMDAS, the multiplication here will be done first. This right here. You would do that first, right? Because that's a multiplication. So what Vanessa did, she said 5 times 8 is 40. So what she got was what? Let's just put it here. She got 4 plus 40 because she did the multiplication first, and then minus 2, right? Now, Maureen, what's 4 plus 40?
44.
44. And then 44 minus 2 is what?
42.
42. So notice it becomes a different problem when you take the parentheses out, right?
Yeah.
Because now you don't have parentheses to do first, and you do what? You don't have exponents, then you do the next one, which is multiplication. So you multiply, then you add, then you subtract. Questions? Any questions on number 1?
No, Miss Barbara.
Okay. All right. Let's go to number 2. Now notice here you have a power, which is an exponent. You have parentheses. You have a multiplication. You have addition, and you have a subtraction, right? Now, which one would you do first, Ori?
I got to run up my screen because my watch on my phone because I can't get my computer, my laptop.
Oh, you on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a kind of like a hardship.
No.
Oh, what happened to your laptop?
I don't know when I put it on. I ain't getting the Zoom.
Oh, you couldn't get in the Zoom? Okay. Okay. Well,
it coming up, but it still ain't coming, ain't getting it.
okay,
Yeah.
so you don't see this.
I could say a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So just read off what you see.
Okay.
Number 2.
Okay. I gotta put on my glasses, but I gotta look down to the bottom of it. Number
So-
2, it says 2 to the power 3
right?
multiplied by parentheses 3 plus 8
Mhm.
minus 7.
Okay. Now, okay, so what would you do first?
Multiplied.
No, PEMDAS says what? Parentheses,
Yeah.
exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So you'll do the parentheses first. Now, what is in parentheses, Maureen?
The 3 and the 8.
Right. So what would you do then?
Multiply the 3 by the 8.
No, that's a plus.
Oh,
This,
yeah.
this is this. So you add. So what's 3 plus 8?
11.
Okay, so you get 11. You add
Uh-huh.
what's in parentheses, 3 plus 8, and you get 11. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so all right, so you did that. And what we have left is 2 to the third times 11 minus 7. Okay, now what would you do next, Vanessa?
Use exponent.
Yeah, do the exponent. So what will that give you?
8. 2
Yeah.
times 2 times 2.
Yeah, yes, 2 times 2 times 2 would give you 8, right? So you have 8 times
Multiply by
11 minus
minus
7.
7.
Now, Maureen, what would you do next?
You multiply 11 by 8.
That's correct. That gives you what?
88.
88. So you'll have 88 minus 7. And what's that equal to, Maureen?
81. 81.
81. And that's your answer. But notice how you did it in order. You did the first one.
Mhm.
Okay. You did the parenthesis. I'll just underline that. You did that as number 1. Let me bring that down some because I don't want it to look like it's under there. Okay. So that was number 1, right? I'll just put that in parenthesis 1. Okay. Then you did what? What was number 2? Vanessa, you did the exponent, right? So that was number 2.
exponent.
So that was number 2, right? And that's how you got 8, 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then after you did that, you did what? What was your third step?
Then you use the third step would be minus 7.
No, the third step you did was what? You added 8, 3 plus 8. That's what you did for number 1, right? And then you
Yes.
did the exponent. Then what was your third step? The multiplication. Okay, this 8 times 11, that was your multiplication, right? That was your third step. So this is 3. And then you did your subtraction, your fourth step. So I'll put that here. All right. Make it clear. Okay, that's number 4. So the first thing you did, number 1, was this parenthesis. Let me move that over there. That was the parenthesis. All right. And then the second step was the exponent. 2 times 2 times 2, and you got the 8. And then the third step, you multiply that 8 by 11. That gave you 88. And then the fourth step, subtracted the 7 from the 88 and got 81.
Yes.
All right, questions? Okay, I want you to try number 3. Okay, give you a few minutes and tell me what you get for number 3. Everybody see number 3?
Uh-huh.
You've got an exponent, you've got a multiplication, and you've got a division. So I want you to give me your answer and tell me the order that you did it.
Okay.
And the numbers are pretty simple, so you can do math on it, right? You have an exponent, a multiplication, you have a division.
So I don't know. I get 24 for my answer.
You got 24. What did you
Yeah.
get, Vanessa?
24 she got. One moment.
Yeah, but what did you tell me what you got?
Oh,
Maureen said she got 24.
okay. I got 16.
Okay, so we have a 16 and we have a 24. And they both can't be right, right? Okay, Maureen, how did you get 24?
I do multiply three two times, right? Which is 8. And then multiply 8 by 12 is 96 and divide it by 6. Get 24.
How did you get 96 divided by 6 to be 24? Maureen, how did you get 24? You did everything
Oh.
right. But how did you get 24? Tell me how you got 24.
Oh yeah, I just make a mistake.
But how did you get 24?
I just make a mistake.
Yeah, Vanessa is right.
Yeah.
It is 16, right? Because you have 8, you do the exponent, 8, right?
Uh-huh.
Times 12. Okay, divided by 6. Let's just,
Which one is 6 and 3 is 9.
okay, and divided by
Okay.
6. Okay, let's,
Yeah.
and
Right,
8
yeah.
times 12 is
Yeah.
96. And 96, and I'll do the slash here.
Oh
By
yeah, I get
12.
it out now, yeah.
96, I'm sorry, divided by 6. And 6, and then 96 goes what? 16.
Yeah.
That's equal sign. Okay. Yeah, you did everything right, Maureen. You did your exponent, you got the 8, then you did the multiplication, you got the 96. But then when you said 24, that Vanessa said
Yeah,
24.
that's why I make the mistake. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Good. At least you had the right order, but be careful with your, your arithmetic. Because that was just at that
yeah.
point, it was just arithmetic.
That was a bad mistake.
Okay. No, yeah, because that's right. Because if this were multiple choice and they gave you 16, 24, 8, and some other numbers, 24 would have been incorrect, even though you follow the right steps. That's why you have to be careful and check your work. Okay.
Mhm.
Any questions on PEMDAS?
No, Miss Barbara, not me.
Okay, so everybody okay on PEMDAS.
Mhm.
Now I'll probably give you, when I send you your work, part of it will be work that you will work on, and I'll probably put in a PEMDAS to make sure.
Oh.
All right, now we want to look at some other problems. All right, still algebra. We want to solve for variables and some other problems. All right, let's take this first one. Now, this is an equation. The variable here is what? What's the variable?
Variable is
And the
T.
T, that's right. T is the variable. All right, T, let's just put it here, is the variable. And the operations we're doing here are what? What are the operations?
Minus and plus.
Operations are addition, that's right,
And
minus,
subtraction.
addition and subtraction. So those are, we said those are the components of algebra. Variables and operations, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we've identified our variable as t, and we have identified our operations as minus, subtraction, but as I said, minus, and plus, which is addition. So now when you're solving a problem like this, you want to get all like expressions together. All right, all like terms actually together. Now you see terms that have t in it, then you see constants, right?
Yeah.
The terms with t are your 6t and your 4t. The terms that are constant are 11 and 13. So you need your 6t with your 4t, and you need your 11 with your 13. Now, how do you do that, Maureen? How would you get your t's together? In other words, I want all my terms that have t in it on the same side of the equation. And let's just say we want it on the left side. So what would you do to get that 4t on the left side?
That's concentration.
Remember, you do the opposite operation to move things from one side to the other of an equation. So 4t is being added to 13, right? So what's the opposite of addition, Maureen?
Subtract.
So what would we do then?
We subtract 40 from 13.
No, you subtract what? 4. Remember, to keep the equation in balance, you have to do the same thing to both sides. So you subtract 4t from both sides. All right. So you're going to subtract 4t from both sides, okay, of the equation. Okay. Now let's just do that. Now I'll rewrite this equation, and we'll do our subtraction. And that means we'll have 4t on the left, minus 4t on the left, and minus 4t on the right. So over here we'd have minus 4t, and on the right we'll have minus 4t. Okay, so what do we have left on the left side, Maureen? What's 6t minus 4t?
2t.
That's right. You subtract from the coefficient 4 from 6. So that would be 2t. So we'd have 2t minus 11. And what do we have on the right side, Maureen?
40.
But we what would you have?
13.
That's it. Very good. 13, because 4t minus 4t is 0, right?
0, yeah.
4t, let's stay consistent, minus 4t equal 0. Whenever you have the same value, whether it's numbers or whether it's variables or whether it's a combination of numbers and variables, if they're exactly the same, they give you 0. Okay, so now we have 2t minus 11 equal 13. So Vanessa, how would we get that 11 with the 13?
Okay, 11.
We need to get those constants together. So how would we get the 11 with the 13?
Okay, what you do on one side, you have to do on the other side.
That's correct.
Cross over, you change the sign of the 11. So it will become plus.
Okay,
a positive 11.
All right, so we add 11. That's what you said to both sides. Okay. Like Vanessa said, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So that means you're going to add that 11. Let's just take the 11. Let's just take the equation and add the 11. So we're going to add 11 on the left. So that would be plus 11. And then we'll add 11 on the right. So what do we get left on the left side, Vanessa?
On the left side.
Yes, this side.
Okay, because it's 11, minus 11 and plus 11, you would have 0 there, and then you would have just 2t remaining.
Yes, just 2t remaining. And what's on the right, Vanessa?
On the right, you just have 13 plus 11 into 24.
How much?
Let me see, 24, yes.
24, that's right. Now we have another operation, right? We are multiplying and we need to just find the value of t because it said find the value of t. So the opposite of multiplication is what, Maureen?
Division.
Division. So what do we do here?
Divide both sides.
By what?
2t by 24, I think. Yeah.
No, you looking for t.
Yeah.
So if you want just t left, you'd have to divide both sides by what, Maureen?
2t.
But 2t over 2t will give you 1.
Yeah.
So what do you divide by?
24.
No, you're looking for t, right? And t is connected to 2 by multiplication. So you would have to divide both sides by 2.
Okay.
But
So
don't just say okay, Maureen, because I want to make sure you understand it, because I think this sometimes you have the difficulty with this.
Oh.
You want something that says t equal, right? So if you want just t, you've got to divide by 2 because 2 over 2 is just 1. Okay, so you have 1t or t. So let's just take this and you're going to divide not by the 2t because 2t over 2t would give you 1. But you want just t left, right? So let's just take this and divide by, we'll use the dash. And that means we said both sides. So that means the 24 is also going to be divided by 2. Okay. All right. Now let's just put our 2 here. 2. And it's not underlined, just the 2. Okay. And put the 2 over here on the right. There's a 2. Well, at this point, though, you really didn't have to do that. You could have just mental math said what number times 2 gives 24. What number is that?
12.
12. That's it. So then t is equal to what?
12.
Yeah, t equal 12. Let's keep consistent, small t. So you had this was a 2 operation algebraic because you had to do either addition or subtraction, and then you had to do division. Whereas in that first one, we only had to do the addition subtraction. All right. But remember, once you left with a variable and a number, a coefficient, then to get the variable, you've got to divide by the coefficient because 2t means 2 times t. That's multiplication. That's the side by side that Vanessa mentioned. So then that's a multiplication. So you divide by 2 and you get 12. But I'm saying right here, if you're given a problem, you wouldn't have had to go through these steps. You could just look at it. Since only one number times 12 times 2 would give me 24, and that number is 12. But just remember, we're doing the opposite arithmetic operation. If it's multiplying, we do the division. If it was division, we do multiplication. If it's addition, we do subtraction. Subtraction, we do addition.
Yep.
Any questions on that problem?
No.
Okay. You have a question, Vanessa?
No, Miss Parker.
You're fine. Okay. All right. Now here is a word problem. And because you know all of your problems are not just variables and operations, some of them have words in it, right? And we have to sometimes translate the words to the math. Okay, Vanessa, read this problem, please.
The age of a person is double the age of his son. 10 years ago, it was 4 times the age of his son. Use the concept of algebra and find the present age of the son.
Okay, now there's some things here we have to translate. Now, when you say double, what does that mean, Maureen?
2 times.
Yeah, okay, Vanessa
Sorry.
answered for you. That's good. It means 2 times, right? So the age of a person is double the age of the sun. Now, 10 years ago, and that means what? That means we've got to subtract the 10, right? Because 10 years ago is a subtraction. If it was beyond the 10 years, we would have to add. So this is a subtraction. Now, 4 times the age means we've got to multiply 4 times the age, right? So those are key things in this problem. Age is double, the person's age is double the age of his son. 10 years ago, it was 4 times the age of his son. Now, use the concept of algebra, find the present age of the son. Now, if you had to guess this, Maureen, if you had to guess the number, what would you pick?
I put double the son, the father's age or the son?
No, we want to find the present age of the son. Always look at what you're looking for. You're looking for the present age of the son. That's what you're trying to find. In a word problem, you look at what is given, and then you look at what you're trying to find. So that's what you're trying to find. Now, we're going to let X equal age of son. All right. Now, if you had to guess, Maureen, what would you say the son's age is, the present age?
I would say, let's see, 20.
You would say 20?
Yeah.
What would you say, Vanessa?
The age of the age of a person is double the age of his son. Oh, the age of the sun. I would say the age of the sun was 10.
Okay, you say 10. Now, double 10 is what?
20.
Okay. I just want to do this just to show you. That's why we've got to set up the equation for it. Let me just put all of this on one page. Now, you said the sun is 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just take that. Sun age is 10. So let's just call it the father, the person that says the age of the person, double age of son. So the person's a father. So let's just say father age. So what's the father age?
20.
20, double, right?
Yeah.
That's 20. Now, 10 years ago, how old was the son?
Probably was just a year old. If
Well, he was 0.
0.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah. Because if you take 10 from here, the son age 10 years ago, let's just put here, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
son was 0, because 10 minus 10. What was the father's age?
10.
The father age was 10. Okay. Now, double satisfy, but does this satisfy the 4 times?
No.
No, it doesn't. So we know it can't be the 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because 4 years ago, it's saying the father was 10 and the son was 0, but 4 times 0 is not 10. Because it said it was 4 times this 10 supposed to be 4 times the son's age. All right. Now, how would we express this in algebra?
Okay. Age of the son
You
is
said it's 2 times, right? So if the
Mhm.
age of son is 2, then the father is what?
4.
X. No, we use a
X.
variable X. So what would the father
X.
age be? The father is double the age of the son. If the son age is X, what's the age of the father using X?
2x.
That's it. Excellent. 2X.
Mhm.
So we know that 2X and 10 years ago, we have to say minus, right?
Yeah.
Now, we're saying in 10 years ago, he was
Mhm.
4 times the age. So we're saying 2X minus 10 years ago would be what? 4.
2.
Well, it says 4 times. So it'll be 4 times X minus 10.
Yeah.
In other words, the age of the person is double the age of his son. That's 2X. But
Mhm.
10 years ago, 2X minus 10, and 10 years ago, he was 4
Or
times the
1's
age.
4
That's
times.
right. So 4 times X minus 10.
Okay. Mhm.
So the age is double the age, but 10 years ago, it was 4 times the age of the son. The age of the son here, X minus 10, 10 years ago. X minus 10, 10 years ago. All right. Now,
Okay.
how would we solve this? What would we do first?
The parentheses
That's right. So what do you get, Maureen?
extra is you do extra 10, right?
No, you do the parentheses. So what's 4 times X minus 10?
Oh, minus 6.
Pardon
No,
me?
no.
You're doing distributive.
Yeah, so what is it, Vanessa? 4
4
times
1's
X.
4.
Minus 10.
4 1's 4 minus 4 10's 40.
So tell me what to write. 4 times X is what?
4 times x is 4.
Are you throwing away the X?
Oh,
No,
you mean
you got to multiply 4 by everything in the parentheses. So what's
yes.
4
So you
times
said
X?
4x.
That's right, 4X. And then 4 times a minus 10
is 40.
plus
Minus 40.
That's right, minus 40. Okay, so now we've got an equation with variables and with numbers, and we need to get them together. So what do we do first?
how do we get it together?
What you do?
First thing we must
You divide
Um,
something by both sides.
add it on.
You can't divide first, Maureen,
You have
because
to
you've got
add.
some, you've got to add because you got some
Add,
subtractions here.
you bring, let's say, use the. You can bring over the 4, no, the 40 first.
Yeah, it's no right one way to do it. I
Wait,
mean, you could
yes.
put start with your constants, or you could start with your variables. So which one do you want to start with, Vanessa?
The constant.
The constants. So what do you want to do with your constants?
Okay. As long you crosses the equal line, therefore you have to change your sign. So to use 40, 40 will become, how do I say? You add 40 to both sides.
Okay, very good. I'll say let's add 40. Let's do what Vanessa just said. Okay, add 40 to both sides. All right. Now let's just take this equation and add the 40. Okay, so we want to add 40 on the left.
40 on the right.
Yes, that's right. And add 40 on the right. Okay. So what do you get on the left, Vanessa?
Um,
After you add the 40, what do you get?
on the right, right?
On the left side.
On the left.
Yeah, what do I get over here after I add by 40?
You add by 40, so therefore you get 2x plus 30.
That's it. A plus 40 and a minus 10, you subtract. And since your plus is your biggest number, that will be a plus 30, okay? Plus 30. All right, there we go. And what do we get on the right side?
Okay, just 4x because
That-
minus 40 and plus 40.
That's it. That gives you 0. So we have just 4x. Now, what is your next step, Maureen? How do you get your x's together?
Okay, you divide by, okay.
You want to get 4x and 2x on the same side. How would you do that? And 2x is added on the left. So if you want it on the right, you've got to do the opposite. So what would you do, Maureen?
Subtract.
So what would I subtract? You're right, but what would I subtract?
2x on both sides.
That's it. Excellent. Okay, 2x from both sides. All right, let's just do that. Well, you can see the answer, right? Anybody see the answer? Okay, so let's just take this and subtract out 2x. Does anybody have the answer?
Which that?
Yeah,
Add 2x on both sides.
minus 2x and subtract on the right side, minus 2x. And what do you get on the left, Maureen? What do you get left?
Minus x.
X.
What do you get on the left side?
X.
No, 2x plus
2x.
30 minus 2x. What's left?
2.
2x plus
30.
30. Yes, right. Very good, because the 2x and a minus 2x gives you 0. So this would be 30. Okay, 2x. And what's 4x minus 2x, Maureen?
2x.
That's it, because you subtract the coefficients. 2 from 4 is 2. So this will be 2x. All right. Now we know our answer, but how would you solve it? How would you get X, Maureen? How would you get X?
It divide both sides by 2.
That's it. Very good. Divide both sides by 2. But you can see your answer. Only
Yeah.
one number times 2 give 30. And what is that
15.
number? That's it.
15.
Okay, I just want you to know that you can, when you get to this point, you can just use your mental math and get your answer. So divide both sides by 2. All right.
Mhm.
And that will give you X.
Mhm.
I'll just X equal 30 over 2 equals what?
15.
15. Now, how could you check this?
Let's check. Let's check.
How could you check that that 15 is right?
There's a way it's checked. I can't remember how you checked it.
Well,
I can't remember how you do it, but I know there's a way you check.
there's a way you can check. You can go back up here, right?
Mhm.
You could, well, it says X is 15, right? Okay. X equal 15. That's the son's age, right? Now,
Mhm.
what would the father's age be? 2x, right? 2x equal father's age. So that would be what? What's 2x? 2 times 15 or 30, right?
Yeah.
Ready.
Okay. Now, 10 years ago, how old was the father, Vanessa? I mean, how old was the son?
10 years ago.
The son is now 15. 10 years ago, how old was the son?
Son was 5.
Okay. Okay. 10 years. Okay.
10 years ago.
Ago. Okay. Son was 15 minus 10 equal 5. How old was the father 10 years ago?
20.
Father was 20, right? Because father was 30 minus 10 equal 20, right? Now, is 24 times 5?
Yes.
Mhm.
Is 24
Yes.
times 5?
Yes.
Right, because we said in 10 years ago, he was 4 times the age. So 10 years ago, the son was 5 and the father was 4 times that, and 4 times 5 is 20. So that's how we know it's correct. All right, we got 15, the son's age. 2 times 15, the father's age now is 30. 10 years ago, the father was 10 from 30 was 20. 10 years ago, the son was 15 minus 10 was 5. So we see it's correct. Now he's 2 times the age of the son. 10 years ago, he was 4 times the age of the son. And that's what we have. 4 times 5 is 20.
Funny.
Any questions on how you check it? Because we found what age the son is now. That's the 15, right? The father's age is twice the son's age. That's 2 times 15 or 30. 10 years ago, the father was 30 minus 10, which is 20. 10 years ago, the son was 15 minus 10, which is 5. So 10 years ago, the father was indeed 4 times the age of the son. Any questions?
No, Mr.
Questions? All right.
I don't have any.
All right. Well, I'll be sending you this so you can really look through it again.
Oh.
All right. All right. Okay. Now, just to see if you remember what a quadratic equation was. What's the characteristic of a quadratic equation? What does it have?
Quadratic.
Yes, Vanessa.
Just a linear, has linear or no linear. Exponential. Okay, quadratic has it carry what we would say power, a square.
Yes, it has a second, it has a 2 as the exponent or square. So where's the noise coming from? Okay, so this is an example, example 3, and I gave you some choices here. So this equation example of which one of these, Vanessa?
Which one of?
3x squared minus 5x plus 4 is 0. Is it quadratic, linear, or series, or an exponential?
It's quad. Is it
Go ahead, you're saying it right.
a quadratic?
It's a
equation?
quadratic equation. Okay, so answer
Quadratic.
A. Whenever you have a square on a variable, that's a quadratic. Linear would not have any power
No.
other than a 1, and you don't have to put that there, right?
Yeah.
And one of the most common linear equations is which one? The one we always use, y equal mx plus
B.
b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Y is the dependent variable, and it's dependent on x, right? X is the independent variable. Y is dependent upon the values here of x. All right.
Yes.
Another question. Do you remember this one? We had something earlier that tells you whether this is true or false. The variable, and this could be any variable now, A to Z in an algebraic equation, can take positive and negative. Is that true or false?
The variable x.
Yeah, you could have positive
Take
x and you can have negative x. Of course, not at the same time. They're different. In other words, you could have a minus 2x, you could have a plus 2x. Is that true or false?
you can have a minus 2x or plus 2x.
No,
Yeah.
and is that, would you say true or false?
True.
That's true. All right. It could be plus or minus. In other
Yes.
words, all that's saying is if you had say 2x, you could have a minus 2x, or you could have a plus 2x. Because if you add up your x's and you get negative, then, or you add up your variables, then it's a negative value. If you add it up and get positives, it's a positive value. So it's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now, you remember factors.
Factors.
When we say factor, what do we mean? It's really just two numbers multiplied to give you the number, right? So
Okay,
if yes, okay. So if I said 42, and most of the time they, well, not all of, well, most of the time they really have more than one factor. I mean, the number itself and 1 we're not counting, okay? What are factors? In other words, what two numbers multiply to give you 42, Maureen? Maureen, what two numbers multiply to give you 42? Maureen, you're on mute.
6 and
Maureen,
7.
that's right. Factors or 6 and
7.
7. They could also be what, Vanessa? What are two other factors?
Can you use 21 and 2?
Yes, 21 and 2
Yeah.
are also factors. All right. So sometime you have, okay. And you could have 21 and 2. In other words, these numbers multiply
Multiply,
to
yes.
give you the number that we're looking for. Now, you can also have factors for variables, right?
Yes.
What you want to find is what is in common with the two terms. Now, if you want to factor 32x to the third minus 8x to the y to the second. So let's just, I want you to figure out what the factors are. So what does these terms have in common? What do you see in one and you see in the other?
Okay, it has X.
They both have x. What else?
And Y.
No, they don't both have y. Only one has
I
y.
thought only one have Y.
Right. But they both have x. Now,
Yeah.
look at the coefficients 32 and 8. What do they have in common?
Because they're even numbers
Yes, but
and they
What-
can multiply.
Because it got 4.
so 32, okay, let's do this. 32 factors,
Mhm.
or, well, 8 and 4. So 32 has factors 8 and 4, and then we have 8 here. So, and then we have x that is common, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So that means we can factor out 8x. Okay, now what multiplies by 8x to give you 32x to the third?
What factor out? Oh. How do you do
In
it?
other words, what can you multiply 8x by to get 32x to the third?
Okay.
What can you multiply 8x by to get 32x to the third? Well, let's try this.
4.
Well, 4. With the coefficient, we know we have 4, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right. Now, what can we multiply x by to get x to the third? What must x be here that when I multiply it by x, I get x to the third? What must this be?
X to the second.
That's it. Very good.
Yeah.
Vanessa. This must be x to the second. So let's just put this here and put a 2. All right. So now we know that we can let me put it here. Okay. Oh, let's see. Get rid of that. Okay, we can put that in parentheses. Now that means now when you multiply 8x times 4x to the second, you'll get this number. This term, 32x to the third. 8 times 4 is 32. X to the 1 times x to the second, you add the powers, 2 plus 1, you get x to the third. Now, we still have minus 8x y. So what would that be? What would be the factors there?
Factors would be would it be 4?
No, 8x
No.
times what would give me, this is minus. In other words, what would I have to multiply? Let's just
To get that.
yes. In other words, let me just write it here. 8x.
2x.
No. Just tell me what goes in this parenthesis. Let's do this. Breaking it down. So maybe, okay, I want to know, what do I have to multiply to get this expression?
Okay, what you have to multiply by? That's okay, you have to multiply.
What do I have to multiply? That would be your factor. What do I have to multiply? And I'll take the minus out because I have the minus already in right here. So what goes here when I multiply it, I get 8xy to the second.
Just x?
No. Remember, I want to put a factor that I multiply by 8x and get 8xy to the second.
Okay, so therefore,
so I'm really I'm factoring
1.
out 8x.
So you do 1.
Okay, 1. And what else,
1.
Vanessa?
1. Let me see.
1 to the power 1.
No, 1. What is left? What is left over here?
y2.
Y to the second power. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
This is it. Y to the second.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you don't have to really put the 1. You could just put just y to the second.
oh, I see.
All right. Now, so that would be minus, and we'll just put y to the second. Let's just copy this and put it here. All right. And close out. Let's put our parenthesis here. So that means when you multiply 8x times 4x to the second, you get 32x to the third. When you put 8x times y to the second, you get a 8xy to the second. Questions? But see, this one was pretty straightforward because you can see 32 has a factor of 8, right? So they are 8 and 4. So we can factor out the 8, but they also, like you said, had in common the variable x. So if I take the 8x out, which is really common to both the 32x to the third and the 8xy to the second, I get 4x to the second because this is x to the third. So 2 plus the 1 power on here gives you x to the third. But remember, I took out the 8x. So if I took this out right here, then what I have left, just y to the second.
Oh, I see.
You follow?
Yeah.
See, I took the 8x out because this is really saying 8xy to the second is really 8x times y to the second. That's a multiplication.
Yeah.
Okay. So this, let's see if I can. Okay. So 8x, y, and let me put in the power. Okay, that's a multiplication, right? So that's equal to so if we put the factors here, that's equal to 8x, because that's a multiplication, x times y to the second.
Yeah.
So I'll just put the power here too. Okay, because that's a multiplication. Any questions?
No, not right now. But you
Right.
can send it. You can send this to me, right?
Oh yeah, you'll get all
Okay,
of this. Yeah, but I
Okay.
just want you to know when you see 8x,
Yeah.
like you see a variable has powers, it's really a multiplication.
Uh-huh.
It's really 8 times x times y to the second. But since we factor it out the 8x, I put the 8x times y to the second.
Uh-huh.
This 32x to the third is 8x times 4x to the second.
Uh-huh.
All right. So let me just write this one down so you can see it when it's broken down into the two terms. So 32x to the x, 32x to the third. And let me just put equal. Okay, so that's equal to, and I'll just copy this and then put the values in. So I'm just breaking each one of those terms down into the factors so you can see what they have in common. Okay, so that's 8x times what? X. Eight x times 4x to the second. Okay, because when you multiply 8x times 4x to the second, you get 32x to the third. When you multiply 8x times y to the second, you get 8xy to the second. What do they have in common here? They both have the 8x, right? That's why we can factor out the 8x and just put what is left, which is just 4x to the second and this y to the second. You got it? I think when you see it broken down with the two different terms, I think it makes, but then you can see what's in common. They have
Yes,
in
that's true.
common the 8x, right? So you just put that 8x outside, and what goes in the parentheses is what we have here, the 4x squared and the y squared. Got it?
Yes.
So your factoring can be factoring with numbers, or it can be factored with variables. All right. You should be able to do both. Questions? All right. Let's look at, okay. Now I gave you some mean, median, mode, range problems.
Yeah.
On that last worksheet. Okay. Now, I think you know how to do this, although some of you didn't do it all. Now, mean, just review. You add up all of your numbers and divide by the number of items there are. And here there are 6. Mode is the number that appears the most, more than any, all right? Median, you put your numbers in order and get the one in the middle if it's an odd number of items, or if it's an even number, you get an average of the two numbers in the middle. And the range is high minus low. Now, any questions on the rules?
No.
Okay, so I want you to do this one. Take a few minutes, find the mean, Find the
Okay.
mode, find the median, find the range. Tell me what they are.
Okay. How much you got here? Okay.
The numbers, Maureen, 23, 25. Can you see the numbers, Maureen?
Yeah.
23, 25, 27, 21, 24, and 27 again. Hello, Chastity, you're on mute. Chastity?
I'm not sure if she's available, but of course she's online. She's probably recording.
Okay, all right,
All right.
okay. Yeah, I'll send emails out that we're recording and I'll put it, upload it to YouTube. Plus I'll send email of the session. So everybody understands the rules, right? So you give me answers for the mean, the median, the mode, and the range.
Oh, you want all?
Yeah, I
You give
want
me-
all four. I want you to calculate them and tell me what they are.
Okay.
The mean, the mode, the median, and the range.
Okay.
Remember I said mean, add up all the numbers, divide by the number of numbers, in this case, 6, right? The mode, the one that appears more than any of the others. The median, you have to put them in order, either from high to low or low to high. Pick out the one in the middle. If it's odd, in this case, it's even. So you've got to take the two numbers in the middle, add them up, divide by 2. That's how you get the average. And the range is the highest number minus the lowest number.
The range
High minus low. The highest number minus the lowest number.
minus low, right?
Yes, high minus low.
Medium. Okay.
7, 4, 11, 12.
Okay, let me get it. 17, 21.
Anyone have the mean?
One moment, Miss Bob.
Okay. You can use your calculator.
I got 24.5.
It's
Okay.
only equal to
Wait, let me put here. Okay, Maureen
Okay,
said you got 24.5. Okay.
6. Yes, the mean is 24.5.
Okay, Vanessa's confirming it. That's correct. What is the mode?
The mode, trying to pair more than.
The mode is 27.
27, that is correct, because 27 appears twice. All right.
In order now.
Now you put them in order. There's what? There's an even number, so you've got to take the 2 in the middle and get an average.
Okay.
So what is the median, Maureen?
Let's see.
Okay, the median is 25.
25.
Let's see, what did you get, Vanessa?
One moment. Miss Bob.
Median. Remember the 2 in the middle, you add up and get an average. So you add them up and divide by 2.
25 plus 27 plus 27, right? So the 2 in the middle.
Which 2 are in the middle?
24 and 25.
Go get an average of those 2. What do you get?
Okay, that is 49. So you would get 40. Am I right? Yes. 49 divided by 2, you get 7.
You get what?
No. How am I
49,
getting that?
Oh, you know what it is?
49 divided by 2. That's correct. What is 49 divided by 2?
49 divided by 2.
You know,
Oh,
okay.
24.5.
What do you get, Vanessa?
24.5.
That's it. What did you get? You said 25, Maureen? How do you get 25?
I got, let me say, there's 227s, right?
1 plus
25 at 24.
27.
23 and 21. Which two are in the middle, Maureen?
Okay, hold on a minute.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
two are in the middle?
Oh, you know something? Okay.
What?
It's 227s at 25, at 24, at 23. Okay.
Then 21. Which two numbers in the middle, Maureen? It's an even set, so you have two numbers in the middle.
Yeah.
What are they, Maureen?
24 and 25.
That's right. So when you average those two numbers, what do you get?
49.
Well, and what's 49 divided by 2?
49 divided by 2.
Yes.
So it's a 4, 2, 2, into 9.
49 divided by 2.
2 into 2 is 4, 2 into 9. 2 is 6.
Half of 49. Half of 49 is 49 divided by 2. What's half of 49?
We have a 49. 2 into 4 is 2. 2 into 9 is 2. 4 is a bit. And 1 is 9. 24.1.
No. Half of 49?
If I said 2 into 4 is 2, right? And 2 into 9. 2, 4 is it. And 1 is 9. And let's
No,
check the
half of 48 is 24. Half of 1 is 0.5. You should get 24.5,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay. So I got
Half
my
of 49 is 24.5.
okay. So I got me see 23, right?
Oh, we do.
So let me see 10, 15, 16, 14, 20, 27, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 6, 2 to 7, 2 is 14.
Maureen, what are you doing? You
Okay,
added 25 and 24 and you got 49, right?
yeah,
Those are the two numbers in the middle.
yeah.
25 and 24. 25 plus 24
It's 49.
equal 49. And
Yeah.
then you average that, which means 49 divided by 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you should have gotten 24.5.
Okay.
That what, and you said 24.1,
Yeah.
but when you divide 49 by 2, you get 24, and then you get a remainder of 1,
I know.
right? So it's 1/2, 1/2, or 0.5.
Okay.
Okay. Now what do you get for the range?
6.
Yeah, the range is the high minus low. That's what? 27 minus 21, and that's 6, right? That's correct.
I
You,
think the mean is wrong.
you think the mean is wrong?
Yeah.
What did you get?
Because when I first did it, I put 225, but I realized it was a 23.
Okay,
So if you put 23 instead of 149, it would be 147.
yes. And then when you divide that by 6, you get 24.5, right?
24.3. Because
That's what
6 4 is 24 and 3 is 27.
you got, 24.3.
Yeah, because it was when I had it come up. So when I had it, I had 225s, right?
Yeah,
And I get 149, but now I do it, but I put 125 and put 23, I get 147.
so what's 147 divided by 6,
I said 6 2 is 12 and 2 is 14, right?
right?
6 4 is 24 and 3 is 27. So it gotta be 24.3.
No, Maureen, 6 into 14 is 2 times, so you got 27. 6 into 27 goes how many times?
4 times.
Okay,
And the remainder is 3.
and what's 3 over 6?
3 over 6 is a half.
So it's 24.5, or
Ah.
24.5,
Oh, I see.
not 24.3, 24.5. Okay,
Okay.
all right. Check your math. It's 24.5.
Okay.
So Vanessa, you got the range, right? The 6.
Yeah, 6.
Okay. All right. All right.
Miss Barbie, you know which one you could do? You know the last one you give us to solve? 7 plus 7 divided by 7 plus 7 multiplied by 7.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna do that one after,
Yeah.
because that one, yeah, that was on 13. We find
Yeah.
13 and I'll put
That,
that one up.
that,
But meanwhile, let me find that one. Meanwhile, do number 7. That's
okay.
another PEMDAS.
Okay.
And I'll get that other one out and put it up, the one that you said the problem. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So do that one and I'll put up the one that you want me to do. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I want you to do this one. And meanwhile, I'll put this one up.
It's paying that.
Okay. Yeah, this was a pin. And I said, can you solve this? Okay. Okay, let me put this one up. Okay, 7 plus 7. And that was, let me get the division symbol here.
It's 10
Plus 5.
7
Plus
plus 7 times
3. Minus 5. Minus 5. So that becomes 48 divided by 8. So we say 48 divided by 6. Do this for let's say I do. Okay, I don't do them, right? This. So I get 25, right? Right? Okay. This is plus, right? Minus 6 and 5. So the plus side plus, right? See, divide this 4. So this is So this is 8 plus 25. 5, 30, and 3. So 33.
Any answers on number 7?
33.
33.
Yeah,
What did you get, Maureen?
33.
33? That
Yeah.
is correct. Because you added what's in parentheses, right?
Uh,
That was the first thing you did. Okay.
and then
So
subtract the 5,
53 minus 5 is what? 48.
48,
So you'd have
divided by
48 divided by 6. This is
Six,
the
8,
7. Okay, 48 divided by 6. So what did you do next, Maureen?
divide 6 by 48 is 8.
Okay, so you got 8. Okay, plus and
5,
5,
5 to the power 2 is 5, and 5 to the power 2 is 25,
25. Okay,
plus 8.
all right.
Yeah,
33. Very good.
Oh,
That's the answer.
yeah.
Answer is 33.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Now, Maureen, there was one on number 13 Maureen wanted to
Yeah.
do. Okay, and Maureen, you got an answer different from the correct answer, right?
Okay.
Now, Vanessa, look at this one.
Yes.
I want you to solve that one and then tell me what you did.
Okay, I'm 7. Let me see. 7 plus 7 minus
As addition, subtraction, addition, multiplication, subtraction. Fala PEMDAS.
yes.
Then that's a multiply first.
Either. Doesn't
Oh,
Well, multiplication and division is
Goes-
left to right, Maureen. Okay, so you go left to right. So if division is coming before, you're gonna do that because you're going left to right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna do your division.
times
All right.
7.
oh,
Because the division and multiplication really on the same level, left to right.
oh, so we add 7 and 7 is 14.
So it's
I divide by 7 is 2.
49.
No, you're gonna do division.
7.
7 divided by 7 first.
Mm-hmm.
Which 7?
Mhm.
The outside 7?
You're gonna do 7 divided by 7 right here. This.
Okay, 7 divided by 7 is 1.
Yeah, you're gonna do that first, okay?
Okay, I'll do first. 7 divided by 7.
Okay.
7 divided by 7 is 1.
And the multiplication over here is gonna be your second.
You're going to take out this one
And
here.
7 by 7 is 49.
7 and 1. You got 57. Miss Barbara,
What? What did you,
57.
that's your answer?
Yes, Miss Barbara.
No, it's not 57.
So that is
You
40,
probably
50,
forgot a 7. Gotta
57.
subtract the 7.
Yes. How much?
So
7? 1.
your answer is 50.
50, that's right.
You're gonna be-
Oh,
It would be 50.
Answer is 50.
Why?
Maureen,
huh?
tell
I did.
Vanessa how you got 50.
Okay. Show me.
No.
What did you do?
Huh?
Yes, how did you get 50, Maureen?
Because you add the 49 and 1 is 50 plus the 7, the first 7 is 57. Then you subtract the 7 from it.
Well, you say 7
Yeah.
7 divided by 7 is what?
It's 1.
1, right?
Yes.
And then 7 by 7 is
1.
49.
That's 1, right? 7 divided by 7 is 1.
Yes.
Plus multiplication, 7 times 7 is what?
It's 49.
49.
Yes.
And then you have minus 7.
Yeah.
Good. You have a minus 7.
Yes, you got a minus 7 right here.
Yes.
So,
Good. Yes.
okay, so 7 plus 1 is 8. So that's going to be what? 57. And then 57 minus 7
It's 50.
equal 50. Got it, Vanessa?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. This
Yeah,
is
that's
take-
what I said. You got the 57, but you didn't subtract the you didn't
I should have
subtract
got
the
mine
7.
right.
Yeah, Maureen, you missed that one on the one you sent me, but you got it right this time. That's great.
Yeah, but I had it right first too, but then it's a well.
What happened? Why you changed it?
Yeah, I changed it because it turned out. So you see, I wait days. I did it the other way around. So I that get that, yeah.
Oh boy.
I had a 3 answers. Yeah. So I probably
Okay.
really said that's bad.
I think you had a low number. I remember you had
Yeah.
a okay. Okay, now our last problem we're gonna do is simultaneous equations. What is the solution for this? We call this simultaneous equations, 2 equations with 2 unknowns. Now, there are a couple of ways to solve this. One is to solve for one of the variables in one equation and substitute in the other. But for this set of equations, that would be the more complicated way. The best way is to try to get one of the expressions equal to the other one, then you can subtract. In other words, if you could get 3x to be 6x, then you could subtract the equations and have one unknown. Now, what can I multiply this equation by to get 6x?
2.
2, that's right. So what you want to do is, let me just copy these equations. All right. And if we do that, then we can subtract them. So let's put a 2 here. And we'll multiply that whole equation. In other words, including what's on the left and the right. Okay. So we're going to multiply this. So let's just take our 6x minus 2y equal 8 and put it here because we're going to subtract, and then we'll have just one unknown. Okay. Now, when you multiply this out, Vanessa, what do you get when you multiply 2 times 3x plus 7y equals 68? What do you get?
Okay, 2 3s is 6x.
That's it. Very good. 6x
plus
plus
2 7s, 14y.
right, 14y.
2 times 64 is,
Well, 68.
yeah, 2 times 68. 8 and 8 is 16. 67, 6, 136.
Okay, 136. Okay, now notice we have a 6x plus 4y and a 6x minus 2y. Now we could subtract these equations and we'll have just one unknown, right? Now let's just put this one on the top, the one with the larger values. Doesn't really matter. Okay, we're gonna put this one on the top. Okay, let's take this one, put it here. And then we're gonna subtract this one from it, okay? Put that here. Okay. Let me bring this up some so you can see this is a subtraction. Okay, now we're going to subtract. I just put it here. At this equation. So we're going to just underline this here so you can subtract it. Okay. Okay, now what's 6x minus 6x?
6x minus 6x, 0.
Right. That's just 0, right? So
Mhm.
we have 0, and what's 14y minus 2y?
12y.
12y, okay, so that's a plus 12y, and that's equal to what?
Equal to that's
136 minus 8.
that's 120 what? 127, 128,
128.
128.
Okay, now what is y equal to?
I equal y equal to 12? No,
Wow.
What? No, this 14y, not, okay. Something I forgot to tell you here. This is a subtraction, so that means oh, 14y minus 2y, so this is a minus, so that would be a 16y, not a 12y, okay? Because this is a minus right here in front of this.
Minus and a plus is that.
Yeah, so that would be 16y.
Mhm.
Now, what would y? Y would be 128 over 16. What is that equal to?
16 into 128.
Y equals 128 divided by 16. What's that equal to? What's 128 divided by 16?
128 divided by 16. 128 divided by 16. 8.
8. Very good. So that's equal to 8, right? Now, how could we solve for x? We could take one of the equations, substitute y, and solve for x. So we can take this equation right here.
Mhm.
You can take either one, but let's just take that one with the smaller numbers and substitute for y 8. And y is 8, so put an 8 here.
Mhm.
Okay, and what would that give us? We put here substitute. Okay, let me put what I just did. Substitute y equal 8. Okay, so what do I get here? What's 2 times 8?
16.
Okay, so that's 16. So let's just put here 6x minus 16. Let's put 16 equal 8. Now what do we do here? Add the 16 to both sides. Add 16
Both of them.
to both sides. All right. And what would that give us? Okay, that would be 6x equal 24. Okay, 6x equal 24. So what is x? Well, but the math, what number times 6 give
4.
24? That's right.
Four.
So x is 24 divided by 6 equal 4. Now, which answer is that? Y is 8 and x is 4.
Oh. D.
Y is 8.
Oh,
Y
why is
equal 8 and x equal 4.
C.
So which answer is that? C.
Yeah.
Yeah, C says x4 and y8. So that's answer C.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now there are some other, I think I'll send you the sheet, and then
Oh.
your homework would be to, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So you have, I think it's 10 problems here, but you can do selectively the ones you want to do. If you want to do them all, okay. If you want to do the first 4, if you want to do the first 5, okay. But I want you to do these. I will send you the whole sheet, but your homework is to do as many as you can. All right. There are 10. All right.
Okay.
Any questions on anything we've gone over?
No. This one you sent here for number 10. Number 10, you got to add the like,
What, right
okay.
here? Number 10?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you add up your like terms. You add up
Right.
your A terms, add up your B
Mm,
terms, and
okay,
pick out your
okay.
answer, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, these are kind of
Yeah.
pretty straightforward. Here,
Uh,
add up your coefficients,
okay.
pick out the answer. All
Uh,
right. All
uh,
right.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Chastity. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to interact, but I was
Okay.
driving and doing some stuff, and now I'm in the kitchen.
Okay, that's
Forever
the
in the
story of your
kitchen.
life, the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I will be sending you the session we went over email, and then I will be uploading it to YouTube. And as I say, your homework, there are 10 additional problems. You do as many as you can. There's no certain number, but we are doing an algebra review, Chastity, because there were some things that didn't quite get to everybody that was evident in that sheet number 13. So that's why I decided just to do an algebra review. So,
All right. Thank you. So that
all
means
right.
it's going to be no more classes or just today or what?
No, we have classes. We have a schedule. Our classes will be going until December for the fall.
Awesome.
Okay. So we'll be doing our Monday and our Thursday.
Okay.
All right. And same times as before. Okay.
mhm.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
And the homework is due by when? By Monday?
No, well, today is Thursday, so we'll save for next Thursday.
All right.
All right. And Monday, I'll probably go over some of the worksheet 13.
Okay.
All right.
Are you
So
gonna upload it right now or when? So I can be, so I can watch it. What time approximately you think you're gonna upload it?
I'm probably within an hour because it takes a
Oh,
bit
okay.
for
Okay.
it to load up. See, because
Oh, no,
sometimes
no.
the system is available, but it's kind of slow. But anyway, it's I'm going off now, and the first thing I'll do is email this session
Okay.
to you, and then I'll we'll have to copy it. That takes a little bit to copy it
All right.
for the YouTube, and then I'll upload it. But
All
probably
right.
within,
Thank you so much.
but
No, I
it'll-
just wanted to know if it was gonna be today, like not.
oh,
not
it's gonna
I
be
wasn't-
today. It's gonna be
Oh,
today.
okay.
Probably,
know.
probably at least by 6. Okay.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you so
All right.
much. That will
Okay.
give me time to go cook.
Oh, you've got time. You've got time.
Oh God. I just want to sit down and enjoy the class,
Oh, yes, of
enjoy the
course.
session.
Yes.
So,
Well, welcome everybody back, and just
thank you.
Okay.
if you have any problems on anything, just shoot me a little text or an email. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. All right.
Bye,
So
everyone.
long, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Bye-bye.